In this podcast episode featuring guest Konstantin Kisin, the discussion revolves around the current state of society and how individuals can navigate the challenges and opportunities that arise. Kisin emphasizes the importance of the rules we play by and how they shape our success in life. The conversation begins by acknowledging that society often hands us a set of rules that we accept without question. While this may work during periods of stability and prosperity, it becomes problematic during times of rapid change and uncertainty. Kisin suggests that a new set of rules is necessary to navigate these challenging times. Kisin argues that the West has become uncomfortable with the idea of power, force, and authority. He believes that a culture unwilling to exercise power and protect its interests will inevitably face challenges from external forces. He points out that leaders like Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and others are tearing down the world order that the West has been living under. The discussion then delves into the concept of power. Kisin defines power as the ability for the United States and its allies to achieve their objectives globally, which includes securing maximum resources for their citizens and maintaining peace and stability. He highlights the importance of strength and confidence in asserting one's values and interests. The conversation also touches on the beliefs and values that shape society. Kisin mentions the idea that reality is constructed through language and power, and that everything is a social construct. He argues that this belief clashes with reality and can lead to a derangement of thinking. He gives examples of how Western countries' attempts to impose their values on other nations often fail because those nations have different beliefs and values. Kisin further discusses the impact of these beliefs on issues such as gender and the environment. He criticizes the tendency to undermine Western civilization and values, citing examples of how conversations about slavery in Britain and protests about the Israel-Palestine conflict are often driven by anti-American or anti-Western sentiments. The conversation then shifts to the concept of personal power. Kisin agrees with the host's definition of power as the ability to predict the outcome of one's actions and achieve one's goals. He emphasizes the importance of acquiring skills and deploying them to make a better world come into existence. The podcast also explores the idea that individuals have the power to shape society through their beliefs and values. Kisin suggests that every generation gets to decide where they want to steer society and that cultural values play a significant role in this process. He encourages individuals to construct their own beliefs and values based on a historical view and a clear understanding of their goals. The discussion continues with a reflection on the uncomfortable truths of the world. Kisin acknowledges the violent and competitive nature of nature and the need for individuals and societies to be strong and assertive. He highlights the importance of recognizing and accepting these truths to navigate the challenges of the world effectively. The discussion continues with a reflection on the nature of war and the dilemma of killing innocent civilians in order to win. The guest argues that relinquishing power is not the solution and references the movie Superman 2 to illustrate the importance of maintaining strength and toughness. He also quotes George Washington, who stated that when a group of people loses their fighting disposition, they can no longer claim to be among the best. The conversation then shifts to the concept of prosperity and its relationship to action. The guest emphasizes that prosperity is not a given, but rather a product of hard work, creativity, and the values that have allowed Western societies to thrive. He argues that prosperity is not a human right and should not be taken for granted. The guest and host also discuss the belief in the blank slate theory, which denies the existence of human nature. They argue that this belief is unscientific and dangerous, as it ignores the evolutionary aspects of human behavior and the inherent predispositions that individuals may have. One of the main topics of discussion is gender dysphoria and the transgender movement. The guest argues that gender dysphoria is a mental illness and that individuals who identify as a different gender should be treated with empathy and support. However, he criticizes the claim that self-identification alone determines one's gender and argues that this belief is not based on biological reality. The conversation delves into the malleability of individuals and the influence of societal norms and expectations. The guest suggests that there is a spectrum of behaviors and feelings associated with masculinity and femininity, and that individuals may be influenced by these societal constructs. He emphasizes the importance of honest categorization and understanding the consequences of these categorizations. The guest also discusses the role of nudging and shaping individuals, highlighting the impact of societal influences on personal identity and behavior. He argues that individuals can be nudged in certain directions, but that it is crucial to consider the long-term consequences and the values being promoted. Kisin continues by addressing the idea that society is collapsing and argues that while there are certainly challenges and problems, it is not accurate to say that society is completely falling apart. He believes that people often focus on the negative aspects and fail to recognize the progress and advancements that have been made. He emphasizes the importance of resilience and the ability to bounce back from failure. Kisin explains that resilience is about being able to deal with setbacks and keep moving forward. He shares personal experiences of facing challenges and how they have made him stronger. The conversation then shifts to the topic of masculinity. Kisin challenges the traditional notion of masculinity, which is often associated with physical strength and aggression. He suggests that true masculinity is about the ability to project power and authority, to be a leader, and to treat others with respect. He also highlights the importance of building coalitions and working together. The discussion then turns to the subject of transgender individuals and their rights. Kisin expresses his support for transgender individuals and their right to be called by the name they prefer. However, he raises questions about access to certain spaces, such as bathrooms and sports, and suggests that these issues need to be carefully considered. The conversation then delves into the potential dangers of artificial intelligence. Kisin acknowledges that AI is inevitable and that it will continue to advance. He raises concerns about the potential for AI to become superintelligent and surpass human capabilities. He argues that it is crucial to ensure that AI does not develop desires or goals that could be detrimental to humanity. He suggests that the goal should be to create AI that is aligned with human values and does not pose a threat. Kisin continues by emphasizing the importance of integrity, honorable goals, and the willingness to confront one's inadequacies. He encourages individuals to be resilient and to keep pushing forward despite failures and setbacks. He also highlights the need for fiscal responsibility and warns against excessive spending and borrowing. Kisin highlights the impact of devalued currency on society, explaining that when the value of money decreases, it affects the purchasing power of individuals and can lead to economic instability. He argues that borrowing money and indebting future generations is immoral and unsustainable. The host emphasizes the importance of understanding the game and the context in which it is played. He suggests that individuals need to be aware of where they are in the cycle and how to navigate the changing landscape. He also discusses the role of culture in shaping ideas and beliefs, and how these cultural ideas can influence the collapse of societies. The conversation then shifts to the current economic situation, with the guest expressing concerns about the printing of money and the socialization of losses. He believes that this will lead to inflation and potentially a global conflict. He mentions the rise of China as a global power and the potential implications for the United States. The host and guest discuss the incentives that drive individuals and societies to continue on an unsustainable path. They highlight the desire for immediate prosperity and the reluctance to address long-term consequences. They also touch on the role of media and the need for new media outlets to change the way conversations are held and ideas are disseminated. Kisin emphasizes the importance of truth and the need to challenge ideas that do not work. He suggests that society should focus on what works rather than what sounds good. He also advocates for the freedom of speech and the importance of seeking disconfirming evidence to ensure a well-rounded perspective. The host introduces a new set of rules for navigating the challenges of society. These rules include seeking self-correcting structures, embracing dynamic tension between opposing forces, prioritizing human flourishing, steering by results, rewarding merit, upholding freedom of speech, reinstituting the rule of law, and overhauling education to focus on useful ideas. The guest agrees with these rules and emphasizes the importance of truth and seeking disconfirming evidence. He believes that changing the culture and promoting these ideas can lead to positive change in society. He also discusses his mission to build a media empire that challenges the status quo and promotes truth and useful ideas. Kisin continues by talking about his friendship with a person he frequently argues with. Despite their disagreements, they enjoy the debates and believe that their different perspectives enrich each other's lives. He values being surrounded by people who don't agree with him because it helps him grow and learn. He also mentions that his podcast co-host, Francis Foster, and the rest of their team have different perspectives and backgrounds, which contributes to their success. The conversation then shifts to the importance of holding similar value sets, even if they don't align perfectly. Kisin and the host agree that having similar values is crucial for a successful partnership or team. They discuss the significance of integrity and how it should be the #1 priority in personal and professional relationships. Kisin emphasizes the importance of treating people well and having a strong moral compass. They also touch on the concept of defiance and how it can be useful when starting a venture but should be phased out as the company grows. Kisin explains that when they started their podcast, they were defiant against mainstream media, but as they gained a larger audience, they realized they didn't need to focus on opposition anymore. Instead, they shifted their focus to creating great content and maintaining their integrity. The conversation then delves into the challenges of running a company and the importance of culture. Bilyu shares his experience of leading a company and how maintaining a strong culture becomes increasingly difficult as the company scales. He emphasizes the need for a set of rules and values that guide decision-making and behavior within the company. Kisin agrees and highlights the importance of having a culture that propagates ideas and allows for dissent and disagreement. They discuss the metric of steering by results and how it varies depending on the industry and mission of the company. While revenue and profitability are important metrics, they also consider the impact, vibe, and freedom of opinion within the company. Kisin mentions that their podcast's impact is measured by the conversations it sparks and the influence it has on people's thinking. The conversation then turns to Kisin's persona and his approach to engaging with negative comments on social media. He explains that his background as a comedian has influenced his ability to handle hecklers and respond to criticism with humor. However, he acknowledges the importance of being more effective in communication and not indulging in aggression for the sake of emotion. The host shares his own perspective on aggression and how he is more aggressive when it comes to his business. He emphasizes the importance of measuring metrics and constantly improving based on those measurements. Kisin agrees and mentions that he is aggressive in pursuing his mission of facilitating political discussions and showing the world what people truly think. They discuss the importance of listening to different perspectives and not shutting down or ignoring people based on disagreements. Bilyu expresses his frustration with people looking for reasons to reject others instead of seeking opportunities to learn from them. Kisin shares his belief in the importance of understanding different viewpoints and engaging in difficult conversations openly and in good faith. The conversation concludes with Kisin discussing his recent podcast episode featuring Sam Harris and Eric Weinstein. He explains that their conversation focused on the Israel-Palestine conflict and the different perspectives they brought to the discussion. Kisin emphasizes the importance of providing a platform for people to express their views and engage in productive conversations, even if there are disagreements. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.